Alright, this is Filbert, and this is going to be a bit of a tour of just my game room, video games, and just general like collectibles and stuff. A little bit overdue, but finally getting this out. People like Pixel who've been requesting. So this is kind of the first step, but will be the last step. I'll go over stuff in more detail, but essentially, computer, main gaming area. You can see some board games, video games, and whatnot. But we'll kind of end there. A little quick stop is, so we have the bar. This TV, it's connected Blu-ray player that can play Netflix and stuff. So sometimes I throw sports up there, but I have a Switch docking station right there. So sometimes if I'm playing, which isn't that common anymore, but Wii Sports or stuff, I have a pretty big little area we can open up, kind of move the dog bed beanbag and just controllers, just random stuff in there. So part, which is going to be kind of different compared to some of the other people's collections, is I'm big into minis and 40K. So this usually lives under the bar here, but I have a ton of paints. I love this because I can just move it over to my desk or elsewhere. See more paints in here. Just different types of brushes. That's a wet palette. But I basically only use contrast paints. If you know anything about painting, I've essentially went over to, I use only Citadel paints, but I basically switched over to contrast. That's my primary means because it's just so much quicker and easier. But yeah, bar night every once in a while. Have some good drinking nights here with friends, but we will move to kind of the main area, which is the game room. So a little bit about this room. It is mostly for board games and a lot of tabletop D&D stuff over there. There are some movies and books. Most of the movies and books in here are my partners, so I'm not going to go over them. There's some of just my random crap that's made its way on this shelf. But I'll just quickly kind of run through some of the board games. So kind of first shelf. You can see there are some Lego models real quick before I go over board games. Just a little bit for scenery stuff. I also like getting stuff I can use for miniatures. So 40K, line of sight blocking, D&D, quick little just random house to plop on the map. So that's why they're usually kind of building stuff like that. But some favorites, War of the Ring, which this might be getting replaced by. I'm going to play this for the first time this upcoming weekend. Dune uses a lot of the same mechanics. The older I get, the more I think I like Dune more than Lord of the Rings. But yeah, just kind of random. All my Descent stuff, second edition. I have essentially all the expansions, but not like all the lieutenants. As we move over, Western Legends, another favorite of mine. If you're into any board game terminology, Doom Uprising, great deck builder, worker placement. But if you're into board game terminology, I am kind of, my bread and butter is essentially called Ameritrash, and it's like super thematic games, often have randomness in it. In here we have some random terrain pieces. Some of this stuff is props, puzzles for D&D, mold to sculpt with. I have some green stuff down here. Green stuff is how you can like customize plastic models more. Just more kind of random stuff in there. These are boxes that I just need to get more shelving. There's like some Wii stuff on the top, but this is like 40K terrain plastic. It's going to be in here. You can see a lot of sprues. It's been a hot second since I actually played 40K. As we continue to move over, we have some neoprene mats for some board games. Some movies. This is kind of where stuff goes to die. But not all. But there's trade stuff up there. A lot of that's like trade board games. I do have my air pump. I use that probably about twice a year. I'll go through and paint a bunch of models, at least with their base. Then we kind of come over to a lot of the tabletop D&D stuff. So bottom shelf is kind of some camera equipment and whatnot. Over here we have a lot of just standee figures, a bunch of alien books because I spent running aliens. This is kind of my go-to. I keep stuff in here for quick placement when I'm running tabletop in person. So we have towers, just random models and stuff. Someone gets a big fireball down and catches stuff on fire. As we come up more, some more figures. Again, I was running an alien short campaign recently. Yeah, this shelf is always kind of a mess. Kind of how this shelf lives. Here you can see a lot more models. Some 40K stuff. You can see some Death Guard, Thousand Suns, but most of the stuff up here is D&D, Pathfinder. Most of this is stuff I've painted. I painted this dragon. I essentially painted all these figures. This is probably the only one up here. This and this are the only two up here that are not painted by me. Some more books. This is kind of an area to die because I've kind of got out. 5th edition's kind of fallen out of favor for me. Now in here is all models. Same for in here. Some of my collection. This is one of the early models I ever would have painted. If you're not familiar, just Thousand or Chaos Sorcerer, but I play, if you're familiar with 40K, I play mostly Space Marines, but Thousand Suns are kind of my go-to favorite. That's kind of a finished model there. You can see a lot of stuff in here. Like any good 40K player still has lots of gray or is only semi-painted, because there's a lot of it. Bigger stuff down here, vehicles. Probably one of my best figures I've done is Ariman. So, did a lot of work on him. But also, it's like the figures you put the most work on are the ones that come out for one round and get blown up and go away. Over here, again, a little bit more random kind of terrain bits. In here's where I keep a lot of my terrain. Some more stuff I've painted. And just kind of more figures. Down here is just different types of rules, mats, mat pieces you can throw on the board. I do think one of the cooler things in my collection is this box, though. One of my favorite games of all time is Eldritch Horror. It fit in like 2 boxes, but one year Anna got me this for Christmas, and I'll just kind of set it up. Or not set up, but show it off. But yeah, it looks like a big shipping crate. So I need to like finish this and actually paint it. But you can slide the top off, and you have a lot of cards at the top depending on your setup and game you're playing, and all these pull out with just the different stuff you can need and use. Tokens, your board and rules all go in here because it's a chunky game. There's more cards back there, but it makes it so easy to organize and a little bit more hard to transport, but it's kind of a game if I'm gonna play, I'm gonna play at my area. Which, showing off board game table, this is one of the best deals I've ever got. Someone on the board game subreddit posted about this table. It's normally is $500 on Walmart or like other sites, but as Walmart, they're posting it was down to $130 with free shipping. Because I think it's like if you bought something for over 100, if you had like $100 in purchases on Walmart, at least at the time, it's free shipping. So I got this table, $130, free shipping. It is like a poker table. So I actually just recently put this on top. So I took this all apart this week. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I still need to fix. You can kind of see over here. I didn't know. I thought I had to pop these out. I actually didn't, but I need to get the cup holders to kind of stick back in how they should. But I've had this table a few years now, but finally I'll put like a new felt top on it, cover the Texas Hold'em stuff. But it is, a solid table. For $130, I couldn't beat that deal. Kind of over here, we have some more board games with my Call of Cthulhu, and I'm sure Dave and others will appreciate. He has one hell of a booty on him. But yeah, I painted him, airbrushed him, then went over some. I loved how I did a bunch of dry brushing to kind of get the water effects to come out. And I really liked how I was able to kind of make the rooms glow. But yeah, this would have originally been all that gray. But yeah, that I got years ago. But yeah, just more board games. This is usually stuff that I don't play and doesn't hit the table too much, though I do have some favorites over here. Definitely Big Trouble in Little China, Five Tribes are favorites of mine. Though some of the games down here at the bottom are early games I got when I really got into the hobby. The Conquest game, Earth Reborn, Dungeon Quest. Then we just have different strategy guides I've kind of picked up at game stores. Usually for almost all these, even like the Metal Gear Solid one, I think I paid less than $5. But a lot of times if I'm at a store and see a game guide to usually a game I own, if it's like $3, I'll pick it up. So that is essentially the game room. It's a little bit of a mess. My future plan is to really probably one day get new bookshelves and just have it look a little bit more organized, because it's kind of a lot going on here. So now we kind of have, this is obviously where, if you can't tell, we're in the basement. We have a living room and stuff upstairs, but especially in the summer, it's like in the 80s outside. It is awesome down here. It's always like, I'm not kidding, it's probably like 65 degrees down here. And I have the air running, but it's like 80 degrees, 80 something outside. But it's always like 15, 20 degrees cooler down here. So we have, this is called the Nest, the 9-piece set. It is awesome for just lazing around watching movies. You can see I got some more board games here. This is all kind of my Eldritch darker stuff. Some of my favorites are here. Mansions of Madness is a favorite. I love Unfathomable, love Arkham Horror. Just more movies. Oh, who's that? Tim? Ooh, he's so dreamy. But yeah, PlayStation, just Sony 65-inch TV. I forget the model and crap. It's that stuff I care about too much. Now we'll come back over here, and you're probably thinking, Joe, you have a lot of board games. And yes, I do. And I've, believe it or not, trimmed down my collection quite a bit in the last couple of years. I'm trying to even trim it down probably by another like 30%. But yeah, if I used to host a lot of game nights really before COVID. Since COVID, not nearly as much. But again, kind of over in these sections are more of my favorite games. Dinosaur Island Dead of Winter are games I actually have my name in the rule book for. I know the designer of that game personally, and really good guy. Then yeah, we have just usually more PC centric stuff on kind of these little shelves. these are all games and stuff I grew up with. We have Street Fighter 2, that's original copy as a kid. And yeah, we will kind of rotate over. So again, computer, don't need to really go into specs or anything. Some more art. If you've kind of seen a lot of the art I have, a lot of it is Elmore, one of my favorite like classic RPG artists, and kind of my scantily clad lady corner right there. But yeah, just kind of show off some of the art. When we get over here, so this is all GameCube. I think I have like 110 games, something like that. Below that, we get to some Wii U, and Switch. And all the way down there is just more kind of 40K stuff, kind of overflow, or just like big chunky stuff. So you can see some vehicles of Primark. Also got Magnus up here. I got to fix last time I played with him a couple months ago. His staff broke, so got to reglue that. Yeah, we have my GameCube here. It's connected with, what the hell is it called again? The M Classic. So it upscales it. I have it modded so I can play ISOs. I'm huge into Total War, especially classic Total War. Started on Shogun back in 2001. I never have a desk without jewel cases. Very nostalgic for me. And these are mostly 90 games that I kind of grew up with. You got, Red Alert, Lego Island, some Ant model I plan on painting next, Thousand Sun Sorcerer. But you can see, got my Game Dave kind of colors going, and on my CPU, which we can always change that up. I'm showing one of my dogs, but just go back to Game Dave. But yeah, not sure what else to necessarily cover. Final Fantasy VI art, again, some more of my favorite board games. Nemesis Lockdown, Vindication are, again, in my top 5 probably. Heat is a great recent one for me. We have some more just kind of random movies over here. More RPG books. And I have like RPG books. Over here we have more. And again, I've been kind of left 5th edition for Pathfinder, so playing a lot more Pathfinder. But yeah, if I look over that bookshelf, the bottom run is all RPG books from Pathfinder, D&D, Star Wars, Call of Cthulhu. But yeah, that's it. If there's anything else specifically you're interested in or want me to talk about more, if there's any like of these board games that you kind of heard or seen that you're kind of interested in or want to know my thoughts on, just let me know in the form. If you want to know, if you have any questions about kind of my GameCube collection, some quick things off the top. I kind of have this stuff all over, but most of these games, almost all these games are not my original. I unfortunately sold almost all my games. I had, I think 35. I think I kept 7 and sold everything else after the GameCube was over. And since then, I've essentially collected everything I used to have, plus just games I played a lot, games I wanted. My collection is about complete. I probably have 10 more games I'm looking for or want to buy. A few of those I just haven't, because they're either a couple expensive ones or ones that aren't like expensive. They might be like $20, but it's like they're not a game I want that bad. And it's like, I'll wait one day and see if I can't get a deal. But if you have any questions about GameCube or whatnot, or yeah, I don't have too many collectibles. Most of it's just kind of random stuff. Spyro. I have a Kefka here. That's original copy of Final Fantasy 3, aka 6 that I had. Most of the collectibles I have are amiibos, And most of it is stuff I got that, like, first year or two they came out. I got a little bit into them, but clearly not that much, because you can see what's that's 2, 4, 6, 8, like 10, 12, 13, a couple over here, 2 up there. There's some down there. I have probably 30 or less. I'm guessing, yeah, around 20 probably. So yeah, not much else to say. Hopefully you found some of that interesting. And again, if you want to know a little bit more about any of the games or my collection, just let me know.